Hello everyone and welcome to my first ever time talking in YouTube. This is kind of nervous-wracking, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Today I will be talking about the interview process in Germany. So these past few months I have been searching for an internship in Germany because this is like my 5th semester and the 6th semester is going to be the time where I find some real life work experience. So yeah, I was like in the job market, I was searching for internships, and yeah, I just wanted to share to you guys about the things that I know during this time. I hope this is quite informative for people who are not speaking that great German. My German level is actually in C1 and my courses in my university is actually in a German language. But I do feel like I didn't really have that great confidence in speaking German. I think like this is a great way for you to prepare if you don't speak German that well. I would say this one is for like low to medium German speakers. Yeah, let's start. So first of all, I need you to prepare these 3 documents. So the first one is your CV or Lebenslauf. The second one is your cover letter or your Anschreiben or motivation letter. The third one is the job description that you get from the advertisement from the company. So you need these 2 CV and cover letter when you did apply for the company. I want you to just review it again, put it in front of your site. For the CV, just try to like read it like out loud to yourself and ask you some of these questions that you get when you see your CV. You could do that on your own, or you could also like ask your friends for help. Just like ask me questions regarding my CV, because in this first part of the interview I always feel like the company would definitely ask you questions about your CV. For example, like you write that you speak Norwegian, for example. They would ask you, yes, why are you learning Norwegian? Blah blah blah. Just explain to yourself like, yes, why I did that, why is it important. It would also ask you about the activities that you have. For example, if you have a job experience at this company, what do you learn from that, what kind of positive activities that you do there, why is it a really great experience, blah blah blah, and so on. And then the other one is cover letter. I feel like cover letter is a little bit tricky because it's a little bit the part where you kind of try to impress the company, but you do it like in an essay kind of way. So you want to get like this really good impression in that company. And sometimes I feel you're not lying, but sometimes when you're like nervous in front of the company, you kind of say weird things that you actually don't want to say, but you don't want to seem to be like lying, you know. You're not lying, it's just like you're nervous, and sometimes like the answers that you give this kind of impression that you're kind of lying. So yeah, what I want to say is just like reread your cover letter. Don't give the impression to the company that you're trying to like brag or something. That is the other thing. And also the job description. When you look at job description, there are a possibility that some of the things they write there you may not have heard of or you may not have understand. I feel like most of people when they apply to this kind of internship, they must have like had 70 to 80% of the things, but there are also things that they don't really understand. For example, you are good at Excel already, you're good at Microsoft Word, you're good at SAP, but there's this list where you have to program with Python, and for example you don't know anything about Python. What I would do is that you search more about Python because you're going to do it in that internship anyways. So maybe do some research about Python. What is it about? Try it out, download the software, try it out on your computer, and do a little bit of like basic Python for that interview so that you don't come there with 0% knowledge about Python. I don't think that is giving a great impression. Just like find out about these skills or experiences that you need to have during the internship. You don't have to have like this 100% knowledge about those things. Just try to like research them, show them why you have interest in these things, and yeah. The third thing that I would say is that have these German routine 1 to 3 days before your interview. So 3 days before your interview, just do everything in German. Speak German, talk to yourself in German, read German newspaper, read in German websites, hear German podcasts or YouTube. Just do everything in German. The goal for this exercise is that you want to be able to fluently speak and also hear German during that interview process. So when I first had my interview, I didn't do this routine, and I think that is a really big mistake, because even like I heard my courses in German, it is kind of different because like that in that time we will be like in this nerve-wracking and nervous kind of situation, and sometimes it's really slow for you to just translate from German to your own language during that time. So I would say just train yourself with German before attending that interview. And yeah, when during the interview, they would definitely bombard you with a lot of questions, and you need to answer them as fluently as you can. And when you're already like speaking German for like 1 to 3 days, it will be like you'll feel used to it. It would be easy for you to form these sentences using German language. There's also this part during the interview where they're going to be explaining a lot about their company, what they do, what they produce, what are you going to do when you join them in the internship. And sometimes it's going to take quite long. It's about like 15 minutes of them just speaking about their company. And in my first interview, I kind of had this mind block around 3 minutes after that. It's because like my brain, it couldn't translate as fast as they are speaking, and I get this kind of like panic situation. I was lucky enough that they don't think they knew that I was in a panic situation, but I know I was smiling. I was still smiling, but my head is like, oh my god, I didn't know what they're talking about. So what I'm going to say is just write it down. I feel like writing down really helps you to focus, but don't write too much, okay? It's not like you're taking notes on a college entrance exam. Just sit down, listen to them. If they got a really great point or they say something important, just write it down. Don't write too much, just the points. And yeah, I think like that is a really great way for you to focus rather than just like trying to listen to them and like not understanding what they're saying. You would skip a bit of few of information, but that is okay as long as you get the important points. And also at the end of their talk, just write down like a few questions that appear in your head. Sometimes it doesn't appear yet, but it will definitely appear. So I would say like write as many questions as you can. Yes, probably there are very stupid questions, but I wouldn't say those are stupid questions. But I want you to really prioritize. Try to ask them for like 1 to 3 questions. I think it's already enough. So you have to really prioritize like which questions you want to ask them, which are really important for you. So this is like really like just 2 things that I want you to do. This is like not that important, but find a really clean background. It is kind of hard for me to find a background for my interview process because my room is quite small and the only background that I have is only this one. But this one is made of glass, so I don't think that is a great option. And the second one is this one, this wall. I think this one is the neatest one out of everything. But it is pretty small, and this is like my bed right here. So I couldn't just sit in my bed and let them face that way. I don't think like I would feel comfortable like sitting in my bed. So this is like the only place where I can put my camera. This is like my desk, and that's like the only way they can see it. But if you maybe find another better options at your own home, just try to find like a cleaner one, maybe like another one. Next one. Punctuality. Sometimes they would invite you to do a Zoom meeting or you came in person. And both of these things, try to be a little bit punctual. You come 5 to 10 minutes before the interview process, and I do think that is a really great first impression for them. The next points that I wanted to give you is about exercises that you should do before you get into this interview. So first of all, try to like Google as much as possible things that you could ask yourself during the interview. You could do it both ways. You could do it like in German first. Just find like questions internet and try to like answer it. Try to like speak yourself answering it. Also write it down if you think that is also important for you. Just write it down. What possible things would you answer in this question? You can also ask that in English and try to translate it in German. Yeah, you can like do this exercises yourself, or you can maybe like ask your friends or family to ask you these kinds of questions and try to answer them as great as you can using German language. What I think like it's great when you do it with your friends is that they could provide you feedbacks. Maybe you're talking too fast, or maybe your answer isn't encouraging enough. So yeah, ask feedbacks as much as you can. Oh, there's actually also like a great tip for you. So university in Germany is really possible that you have a career service in your university. And I actually contacted my career services a lot of times. They really do give great tips, and they give you like great feedbacks on how to do your interview. They even like helped me with creating my cover letter. I feel like my grammatics and my cover letter aren't that great, so I usually like send them a few possible documents that I could use for my cover letter, and I just let them like give me feedback, you know, like which parts are not grammatically correct, which parts are a little bit boring, and which part needs more advanced answers. So I did like have this session with them where I asked them to just like ask me questions that was possible during an interview process, and I think that is also like quite a great experience and quite a great exercise for you during the interview process. There's also like this thing. This is like my last tip that I have for today. I feel like everyone is using LinkedIn these days, and I use it to just network with people. So for example, you are interested in this area of work in your internship, just find some people who are a specialist in that area and just send them a message like, hello, like my name is blah blah blah, I am really interested in this area, could you maybe like help me and answer a few questions because I needed some feedbacks on this thing and blah 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 blah. I do know it's kind of embarrassing to ask questions like that, but just encourage yourself to do that. I feel like if I'm that person, you know, if someone asks me like question like that, it's either like maybe I don't have the time and don't answer that, or maybe I would just like, okay, like just ask me questions and I would try to get back to you as soon as I can. Don't feel like you're stupid, just try it. I mean, like just try it. And actually, like when I did that, a lot of people actually answered me in LinkedIn. I was also surprised as well, like these people gave their time to answer my questions in LinkedIn. I was like, wow. So yeah, I think like it's a great way for you to get in-depth information about what you're going to do in that internship. So yeah, I think like it's a great way to get to know more about that area where you're getting into. And the last thing that I would say as well is that ask the company a lot of questions about your internship. I think internship is a really great opportunity for you to test out your abilities in the work experience. I know like a lot of people in our ages is like actually not sure about what they wanted to do in life. I myself also had that thing as well. Like I'm not 100% sure if I'm already in the right spot or not. And the thing about internship is that it is a great way to test it out. Like, are you really sure about that position that you want? I do feel like when you take an internship, there's always a great thing you can learn from it. So I don't think like any internship is useless. Get as many information as you can in an internship. Learn as much as you can during that internship. I do hope that all of you guys could find information from what I was speaking today. And yeah, I hope you enjoy your evening. Bye!